Good evening from the NBC Newsroom in New York. I'm Lester Holt, and welcome to the first edition of our new series, On Assignment. For the next several weeks, our correspondents travel the world to report stories we hope you'll find powerful and provocative. First up tonight, a story that's become part of the presidential campaign. It's prompted months of questions and an FBI investigation. Hillary Clinton's use of private email for official business. The first clue came from an obscure computer hacker halfway around the world. Cynthia McFadden went to Romania to find him.
You hacked your way into the Bush family emails. You hacked your way into Colin Powell's emails. You uncovered that Hillary Clinton was using a private email. Why?
Much more, sure.
And many more.
Yes.
His name is Marcel Lahel Lazar. He's better known as Guccifer. And this is his first on-camera network interview.
So an unemployed former taxi driver in a remote part of Romania with a beat-up old computer,
A cheap computer, yeah.
and a cell phone
Yeah.
is able to hack his way into half of the Washington establishment.
I'm sure a lot of people are doing this right now.
He's an unlikely figure at the center of the Hillary Clinton email controversy, which has dogged her campaign from day one. But just who is this mysterious hacker, and what are his motives? That's what we've been investigating since we found him in Romania, a country considered a breeding ground for cybercrime.
Welcome to Hackerville.
Hackerville, this is sort of the scam capital of the internet, right here.
Yeah, you could say that.
Computer security expert Madeline Dumitru is from Hackerville, officially Romnica Volcha, in the foothills of the Transylvanian Alps. Throughout this poor city, the trappings of wealth are everywhere. That's because internet scammers and hackers flourished here, over the years bilking Americans out of billions of dollars.
This business was quite huge.
Booming.
Booming. Almost everybody was doing that.
How big did it get? Big enough that the FBI set up a permanent office in Romania. Special Agent Paul Vicak.
So at any given time, how many cyber criminals are you tracking here in Romania?
With the Romanians, we're working cases against hundreds of subjects.
Hundreds.
Hundreds.
The most famous of all, Guccifer. We tracked him down to this maximum security prison in Bucharest. Don't be fooled by his casual clothes and the comfortable room where we met him. He's doing 7 years hard time for his hacking crimes here.
So why did you pick Guccifer originally?
For the two words, Gucci and Lucifer.
Lucifer the devil.
Yeah. Yes.
He's 44 years old, has a wife, daughter, and a high school education. When he lost his job as a taxi driver, he says he became so bored he began to hack. And that eventually led to his arrest.
I want to talk in private, just for a few seconds.
It's clear he works the angles. Before we began, he asked us for money.
We can't pay for interviews. It's just
sorry.
against NBC rules. It's
Yes.
against network news.
I see.
rules.
In this case, I'm sorry. I'm not going to take the interview.
Okay.
A few minutes later, he dropped his demand.
Okay, we'll do the interview.
Okay.
As we talked, he switched between Romanian and English.
How long were you doing this? A year, year and a half? maybe?
Da.
Yes, around that.
How many accounts would you say you hacked in that period of time?
No.
I don't know, maybe 100.
Most of them famous.
Da.
Yes.
Guccifer started out by hacking Romanian officials, then turned his sights on the American political elite. His motive, he tells us some of his American targets, including Bushes and Clintons, are part of an elite group called the Illuminati that controls the world.
My actions are clear. They are to unmask the Illuminati.
It just sounds crazy, though. It sounds crazy that there's a secret cabal running the world.
It is not that incredible. It's very probable.
To penetrate the Bush's world, he hacked the email of Dorothy Bush Koch, the daughter of one president and the sister of another. And that's how we all discovered George W. Bush was an amateur painter, making public a hobby that, until then, had been private. And there was more.
When you hacked into Dorothy Bush's email account, you found out all kinds of intensely personal things about her father, about his illness, about them even planning for his funeral. Should you have made that stuff public?
The decision to make them public was not mine. I sent them to a certain address, and the people running that site decided they should be made public.
Well, that's copping out, isn't it? Come on.
Guccifer also went after former Secretary of State Colin Powell, breaking into Powell's email and Facebook accounts. He's made racist remarks about Powell, as he did about others he's hacked. As for his hacking ability, computer security expert Madeline Dimitru says what Guccifer did not require advanced technical skills.
So Guccifer wasn't a hacker?
Guccifer is not a hacker, in my opinion. Guccifer was a guesser.
A diligent guesser.
Yeah, searching on the internet, find as more information as possible, put them all together, and try to make a list with potential passwords.
He did pretty well.
He did pretty well, but he's not a hacker.
Whatever you call him, it was in 2013 that he scored his biggest hit. He got into the email of Clinton confidant Sidney Blumenthal and noted a particular email address.
And when you saw HDR22, did you know whose email that was?
At that very moment, I thought it could be Hillary Diane Rodham Clinton, yes.
Because it's Hillary Diane Rodham.
Rodham Clinton, yes. Yes.
And you said to yourself,
Yes, a home moment or something like that, yes.
wow.
Guccifer copied private emails from Blumenthal to Clinton, some referring to the attack on the U.S. consulate in Benghazi. In one, Blumenthal wrote, "The following information comes from extremely sensitive sources and should be handled with care." Guccifer put a G on the documents and passed them to the Smoking Gun website and the Russian news site RT, which posted them.
Were you ever working for a foreign government?
No.
You weren't working for the Russians, the Iranians, any foreign government?
No.
This was all done on your own?
Yeah.
Yes.
There are a lot of people who feel that you did what you did in order to get famous, to be a star.
Yeah.
That's misinformation.
For 2 years, his discovery that Clinton used the private email address went largely unnoticed. But in 2015, the New York Times revealed it was the only address she used for official business as Secretary of State. Then came the news Clinton had her own private email server in her home.
It had numerous safeguards. It was on property guarded by the Secret Service, and there were no security breaches.
Critics and political opponents charged that national security was compromised. The FBI launched an investigation.
When Hillary Clinton says that her server is absolutely safe, you're laughing.
That's a lie.
That's a lie. Yes?
Yes.
It's not safe.
It's not safe at all.
In our interview, for the first time, Guccifer claimed he got into the Clinton server.
By running a scan, I found that server was completely unsecured.
I want to make sure I'm understanding what you're saying.
Yes.
You're saying the Clinton server was unprotected,
No.
Yes.
and you had total access to it had you wanted to download it.
Yes, it was like an open orchid on the internet, as many such servers are.
What did you find when you got inside the server?
There are hundreds of folders with boring stuff, political boring stuff from Texas, from everywhere. It was not what I was looking for. There were emails from Huma Abedin, from
Huma
various-
Abedin?
Yes,
Did you download all those?
a part of it, a little part, because it was boring.
So you actually saw Hillary Clinton's emails themselves, not just
On
the
the server, yes,
not
on the
just the
server.
Sidney Blumenthal material, but you
Yes.
actually went right inside the Clinton site and saw everything.
That's absolutely right, yeah. That's absolutely right.
But did he really get into the Clinton server? There were plenty of reasons to doubt him. We asked him to show us some of the documents he claimed he downloaded. He showed us nothing. And unlike in many previous hacks, he posted no proof online.
It's getting the IP address.
Nonetheless, we talked to a number of the nation's top cybercrime experts who say Guccifer's allegations should be taken seriously. Among them, former FBI Special Agent Chris Tarbell.
It certainly is credible based on what he says that he has done.
Tarbell ran one of the FBI's biggest cybercrime investigations ever, cracking the legendary case of the online black market called the Silk Road. He's now with the Berkeley Research Group. Based on what he told us, and we've given you a chance to review what he told us, is it credible to you that he could have, in fact, hacked the server?
It's plausible because he did get access to emails that allegedly came from that server. Each email has a header, and that tells you the information and the path of where that email came from.
So, based on what we know about him and the credibility of his past attacks, what do you make of this?
He had the potential to do very dangerous things with a computer that he wasn't allowed to be on. Entering a computer you're not allowed to enter is hacking.
And a crime.
Felony in the United States, yes.
So whether he knows it or not, he's just admitted to committing a felony.
Yes, he's admitting that he committed a felony.
And if he's lying...
That seems silly to me. To go on television and admit to a felony you didn't commit seems a little silly.
Welcome, Madam Secretary.
As for Secretary Clinton, just this week she continued to maintain her server was secure in an interview on MSNBC with Andrea Mitchell.
Have you been contacted, or your representatives been contacted by the FBI to set up an interview?
No.
No contacts there?
No.
Any indication that your private server was hacked by foreign hackers?
No, not at all.
We asked the Clinton campaign for a comment about Guccifer's allegations regarding the server. They blasted his credibility. There is absolutely no basis to believe the claims made by this criminal from his prison cell. We have received no indication from any government agency to support these claims. In fact, the FBI's review of the Clinton server logs showed no signs of hacking, according to a source familiar with the case. But Chris Tarbell says server logs are not necessarily comprehensive. So is it absolutely clear that if the server were breached, there would be a log of it somewhere?
No.
So it may be that there is no breach that was recorded. That doesn't mean there was no breach.
Correct.
But a caution. Tarbell also says the very nature of Guccifer's handiwork as a criminal hacker makes his word suspect. So someone who does what he does is a sort of congenital liar.
They're a pathological, well-practiced liar.
As for the FBI, no one saying anything on the record.
I just interviewed Guccifer this morning.
I can't comment on Guccifer.
He's being extradited to the U.S., I know, in the weeks and months to come.
I can't comment. Sorry.
Shortly after our visit, Marcel Lahel Lazar was indeed extradited to the U.S. He's now in jail in Virginia, awaiting trial for hacking Sidney Blumenthal, Colin Powell, and others. He's pleaded not guilty. One thing is clear. We're not the only ones interested in talking to Guccifer. Sources close to the investigation confirm FBI agents escorted him from Romania to the United States and say they fully intend to question him about the Clinton server now that he's in U.S. custody. Many officials emphasize to us investigators have seen nothing so far that substantiates his claim. But the investigation continues.
Was it your intention to try to affect the presidential campaign?
No.
No, at that time, I wasn't even thinking about the campaign of 2016. But that's where things are heading.